Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Charjabug and a legend team around it from Desinked. If you haven't seen my video about 20 different legend teams from the season, definitely check that one out. Going to be linked in the end card, but today we're gonna take a look at their team, which is going to be very interesting. We're going to have here the Shadow, Alolan, Sandslash in the lead. I'm not sure if they're running Powder Snow or not, but I'm running still Shadow Claw here. I think I've changed it afterwards towards Powder Snow though, so maybe I have to build another Sandslash as soon as we're going to have another Rocket event, which at least we're going to have at the end of this month. But we're going to have here the Sacer of Charjabug, which is really cool as a Sacer because it can flip switch against Medicham, against Lickitung, maybe even against a Lantern if you're lucky. I think in this two-shit scenario, I think you should be fine as well for that one. But here we're of course in the scenario a little bit with a little bit of less health than the opponent, so we're not going to be able to survive. Oh, we're actually going to be able to survive a Surf, but we're not going to be able to knock them out in time. So we're going to use a shield here on a potential Thunderbolt of the opponent, which is going to be amazing for us, as now we're going to have a ton of energy and they're seeming really weak against our Alolan Sandslash. As they're going to let this move go through, I decide to swap out into my Galaga. Could have had better IVs, but this is definitely fine for me, as we're going to see that the opponent decides to forfeit. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have a Jellicent here in the lead. Amazing lead for us as they decide to swap out into the Umbreon and we can swap into our Charjabug. Here, maybe not the best move timing by me. I could have actually tried to time it a little bit better anyway, so like I wasn't really in a rush for me to go for a charge move. They have the 3-turn fast move, which is a little bit easier for them to align their moves, but we can just let this next move go through. It's going to be the Foul Play, doing some decent amount of damage, and maybe I should have went for another fast move here instead, but I'm just going to go straight for the Exeter, as we will see that I'm going to be forced to use a shield here against the opponent. I think I might have been able to avoid it if I just played my fast moves a little bit better. But we're going to be fine, as we're going to now see the Jellicent coming back in. And I can reach another Discharge, which is going to do no damage because I decide to shield, but I can still reach another one, which is definitely going to do some damage. Hopefully it does. So we're going to put them into farm down range for our own Sandslash. I'm going to use a shield here. Never mind, I'm not going to use a shield here. It's going to be the Shadow Ball. It's going to do some decent damage, but it's going to be the Obstagoon in the back, which is amazing for me. And maybe I should just run straight for the Aerial Ace, as they're going to run Obstruct, which I was a little bit scared about. I will go for the Aerial Ace now, and we're going to be able to get the shield from the opponent, as I most likely want to try to build up more Obstructs. I'm going to let this next move go through as well, which is going to be another Obstruct. So it's going to be a very tough matchup for us here. This is going to be tricky because the opponent is going to have such high defense, as you can see, that I'm going to be forced to use a shield here at least. Let's see, I'm mostly going to use a shield. Nice, that should knock me out. And we're going to see me swapping out into my Sandslash. Maybe I should have went for a charge move prior, but this Ice Punch is going to do definitely enough damage to put them into Aerial Ace range. I can still knock them out here, and I think I still barely survive a Night Slash from this range. We will find out now, because Gliga is fairly bulky. We will be able to just barely survive that, and we can now knock them out with one more Aerial Ace. Good game there to the opponent. Great team so far, as we can move on into the next matchup. Of course, those battles are here just against normal people in the Go Battle League. We will see now the War Ring coming in. We're going to be able to just go for a drill run against the opponent, which is going to get the shield. I think this matchup is usually very good for the Sandslash because it double resists the fast move of the opponent, and Earthquake takes a little bit longer to get to, but if they bait you and hit an Earthquake, of course, you're gonna go down, but we can just go easily just straight for the drill run, and this is going to get me at least the final shot of the opponent. Isaac Spear coming through, bait from the opponent, but it doesn't really matter, as we can still go for the knockout here. And let's take a look here. We're gonna get now the next opponent coming in with the Deoxys. This is going to be a little bit awkward for me, but I can swap into my Charjabug. I can take a charge move here. Maybe it's a Rock Slide, it's a Psycho Boost, and we will see the final Pokemon being Superior, which is going to be amazing for me, because what I can do here is I can go for the Exeter. I still should be able to easily survive a charge move here, so this Superior is not going to do anything against me because I'm still going to survive that. I can even overfarm by quite a bit, which is really cool, as now the Charjabug is just destroying the opponent's backline here. Definitely MVP so far for this team, as we can now move on into the next game coming up. Decent lead for me. They're going to swap out into the Lickitung, and here is like one of the points where I wish that I maybe didn't go for that charge move first. You can definitely realign with your Charjabug here, and maybe this was not ideal to stay in for that long. I get a free fast move in here, which is nice. Like, they maybe gave me 3 extra turns here, which is really cool. But I can just go for the Exeter spam. Exeter is going to do some very nice damage here, and another one will be all it takes to knock them out. So I can let this move go through. But if they want to, they would be able to just go for a shield and try to farm me down, which they might want to do, so they can realign. But we will find out now. They're going to let this move go through, and they're going to go back into the Gligar, very likely to try to get some energy, which is fine for me as I decide to go into the Lantern in the back. Now it's going to come down to, I don't know, like, it's going to be a little bit tough. Actually, this matchup is not as great as you might expect. So here, what we're going to now go ahead, we're going to go for the Dig, which is going to do some decent damage, and we're also going to see the Surf coming through, which might have been not the play from me. I don't know if I should have let this move go through. I'm going to decide to overfarm it quite a lot with my Sand Slash, go for the Ice Punch on the CMP tie, but I guess it comes down to calling the bait now. They're going to go for the shield. I have to go for a shield. It's all about the Gligar here. Let's see, the Gligar comes back in. Can we still reach 2 moves in time? I think they might be able to just get to 2 digs. I'm going to let the first move go through, and they're going to not bait me. They're going to go straight for the dig, which is, of course, very, very difficult for us here. So we're going to now see the next matchup going to be up against a Swampert. This is really bad for us, actually. But honestly, maybe it's not as bad. I don't know. Like, if we're gonna let this move go through, it's going to be the Hydro Cannon, and we are gonna let this next move go through as well, I thought. But now that I decided to go into the Sand Slash, forcing me to go into my Electric type Charjabug. But maybe with this extra Ice Punch damage, I might put them into range where I can just farm them down after 1 discharge, which might be the way to go for this matchup here. You see the discharge coming through, and this discharge is gonna do, let's see, a lot of damage, enough to knock them out, I thought, but no, they can still survive with 1 HP, which is really unfortunate for us. But now we are gonna be able to get some energy advantage with our Gligar, and basically we have 3 shields in the Gligar here for the final matchup. So let's see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be the Sableye. This is possible. This is definitely possible. They're going to go for a charge move. I'm actually going to let this move go through here, which is kind of interesting because, of course, they're going to have the Swampert there lurking in the back, as I can go for 1 Aerial Ace here, which they're going to shield, which is really cool for me, and they decide to swap out into the Swampert. Great play by them. I can use my shield here against the opponent's Hydro Cannon, which does more than the foul play. Get a ton of energy and swap out perfectly into my Alone Sand Slash to soak up the damage from the Hydro Cannon and get the full farm down here. We are way above 100 energy, so I'm just gonna go straight for the Aerial Ace spam. I'm not sure if one dig would be enough from this range. I don't think it would be, so I decided to go for 2 Aerial Aces, which was definitely the golden choice here, as we will be able to now go for the knockout with the 2nd Aerial Ace and showing how strong this team is going to be here again. Very solid line. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see a Swampert in the lead. This is going to be, again, very awkward for us. So we're going to be forced to go for an Ice Punch again. I kind of have to stay like this, but as you're going to see, we're going to be able to do some damage, and we will try to at least go ahead and let this move go through. It's going to be the Hydro Cannon. We're going to sacrifice our Sand Slash this time around. They're actually still staying in, allowing me to get a shield from the opponent, but they can farm me all the way down, which is not ideal, and I have to use 2 shields now onto my Gligar. So we're in a really bad spot. Losing Switch plus shield advantage here against Swampert in the lead is always a little bit tricky, but what we can at least still here do is going to be able to get a ton of energy, which might help me out later on. We will encounter a Gliscor coming in, which maybe tells us that they're going to have a Gligar in the back, which would be really bad for me. But we will find out shortly, I would guess. We will be able to take this move here. The Night Slash is not going to do too much. They don't get the boost, luckily. And I will be able to still go for another Aerial Ace. And I think I make a mistake here. Let's see. Oh, never mind. The opponent goes for the shield anyway, so I'm going to be able to go for my own charge move here. They decide to go for their Night Slash. I can still survive it. Now we have to hope that our Charjabug can win the final matchup against the opponent. Turns out they're running Galarian Stunfisk in the back, and we can just forfeit. This is literally the hardest answer to Charjabug, but this is also the reason why this Pokemon kind of works. And I kind of want to take a look at Shadow Galvantula again, for the main reason that the Galarian Stunfisk is completely gone this season, making this Pokemon way, way better. Of course, you basically have now the Steelix, which is the same Pokemon, or like the same type of Pokemon, so it most likely is not going to make too much of a difference, but Steelix is not as common as the Galarian Stunfisk, so I feel like definitely that the Galvantula has a lot of play in the current meta. We're going to encounter Charjabug against Charjabug. That's kind of wild here. Charjabug against Charjabug is the greatest matchup of all time, being able to do some damage here with the Exeter, but I should have went straight for the Exeter as well, as the opponent is now going to be able to swap into the Gligar here, which is making this matchup really, really bad. So, can we still come back from this one? I doubt it, to be fair. We are in a really bad spot. They're gonna go for a charge move. I am already one shield down. They have a ton of energy, and I'm deciding to go into my own Gligar just to basically soak up the energy from the opponent, as I don't want to get hit by a dig from the opponent here onto my Sandslash, so I decided to go into my Gligar, go for my own Aerial Ace, gonna get the shield, which is definitely very nice. I tried to catch the move, didn't work out. They decided to swap into their own Charjabug, which was a smart decision by the opponent, but can we still come back from this? We will find out now. We're gonna get the opponent fairly low, allowing us to at least get them into a farm down range for Wing Attack, and I think this is my only play of winning this game. Trying to farm them all the way down. Not using a shield here, using a shield against the opponent's Gligar, hoping that I get enough energy in order to get to those Aerial Aces that I need. It's going to be a close one. We're gonna use a shield here. Do they have 2 Aerial Aces already? I'm going to build up to another one. Can we win CMP? We have 4 attack here. Let's see. We can get the shield up here and we win the CMP tie thanks to our bad IV Gligar, which is really good for us, and we will be able to win this game. So, moving on. Next game, we're going to have a Lantern on the lead. Yes, definitely one advantage of having Shadow Claw over the Powder Snow, because you're going to do just way more damage against the opponent's Lantern here, going for neutral damage with your Forest move over resisted damage. We will see the shield coming up, and we will also see my shield not coming up here, because I can just go for another Drill Run in time, which is amazing, giving me a huge advantage over the opponent here, which I'm going to take. I'm going to not use a shield here. I'm going to let this move go through, and I can farm them down with my Charjabug, I would guess, because Wing Attack is a little bit scary here. So yeah, 2 more fast moves is all it takes, and I have now a shield as well as energy advantage, plus we're going to encounter the opponent's Registeel, what kinda is going to mean that we're going to be able to resist all the moves on both of our Pokemon, which is just amazing. Unless, does Registeel learn Hyper Beam? That would be such a funny moveset to use. Let me check real quick, because it would be so fucking funny to just play the Hyper Beam variant of the Registeel. It would learn this. I think it does though. Definitely learns Flash Cannon, learns Zap Cannon. Looking through my Pokemon right now if there is any of them that learns Hyper Beam, but I feel like it does, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Who knows? We will see here that we can use a shield against the Mana Bus. It's still going to be a tough one. Yeah, they learn Hyper Beam, which is kind of funny. But we will be able to just go for the Aerial Ace here, which is gonna get some damage onto the opponent. We can let this next move go through. It's going to be a Dark Pulse here, and I can just swap out, catch the move onto my Charjabug, which maybe was not the smartest idea here. But we're still gonna be able to go for a Discharge against the opponent, and maybe we can still reach another one afterwards. I don't think not from this range. That's going to be tough. I'm basically going to be forced to go for an Aerial Ace immediately, trying to get the shield from the opponent. Please work. It does not work, and now we have to go for the full farm down using a shield here. This is looking so bad. I think I just screwed up my own game plan here, which is really, really bad. And yeah, we're gonna be able to go for another one, but they will be able to reach the next charge move before I can, so this is going to be game. Sadly, misplayed this one pretty hard, and I could have won this game, I think, if I just stayed in, if I played better. This was really sad to see. So, next opponent, another Swampert in the lead. This is exactly what you don't want to face with this team, but we can still go ahead and go for an Ice Punch. So at least here you always see the tough matchups as well. I'm not cutting out, like, I saw like also some comments about it that they appreciated that I don't cut out all the losses or something, which other people apparently do. Honestly, I don't really watch YouTube myself, to be honest. Like, I don't really watch it too much, so I don't even know what other people are doing really with their videos. I just do my own stuff. So yeah, here we will see the opponent's Frosters coming through, going to do some decent damage, and we can go for a full farm down here. Use a shield for sure, because they can go for a Shadow Wall, but I'd rather take the energy over the shield here. They actually only get to the Avalanche. That would have been definitely a way to go for the no shield then. But we can still go for some damage against the Swampert, but I guess we still have to go ahead and use a shield here first, as the Ice Punch is coming through. Should put them into range where we can farm down, hopefully. It does not, because he uses shield, and I can still get to another move, which is really important, as we're going to see that they're going to be very low, and they're going to have a Charizard in the back. I decided to stay in and go for an Ice Punch, because I know that my Gligar, as we are not Shadow, are going to be able to survive one Blast Burn, and also we can just go for the full farm down, allowing us to get some energy, allowing us to have basically an Aerial Ace when we get out of this matchup here. as they decide to go for their charge move with the Swampert, but I don't think they have 2 moves stored here, as we can now go for the full farm down with our Sand Slash and we can move on into the final game of today's video. Sadly, Superior has not the best matchup for them here, because our entire team has something against Superior, which is really cool for us, because this entire team is basically, like, Superior is everywhere right now. Like, Superior is such a common Pokemon, so having something that you completely wall with the entire team is just amazing. They go for the return, great play by the opponent, but they will not be able to realign, and I don't care if they want to realign anyway, because I know at this point of time the lead is not something that I care about. And you see me here letting this move go through, just mainly because I know that I'm going to be fine with whatever Pokemon I'm going to end up is with against the Superior, so I will be able to just go in here, farm them down, and they sadly going to have the Medicham in the back, but we can still go for the Ice Punch. Now it's coming down again to the MVP of this team, the Charjabug. I'm going to use a shield just in case it's going to be the Psychic, which it will be, which is amazing for me, as we can now go for the Exeter spam against the opponent's Superior. But sadly, 2 Exeter are not enough to knock them out, or is it? It is actually enough to knock them out? I thought you still survive with a few HP left, and we will never find out because they're using a shield. But I can let this move go through, as neither Aerial Ace or the signature move of the opponent with Frenzy Plant is going to do too much. And now they're going to go for another Aerial Ace. I'm going to use my shield, but I can overfarm by quite a lot, allowing me to go for another Exeter. And Exeter and Discharge does exactly the same amount of damage, so I'm just going to go for the Exeter immediately here to get the damage onto the opponent, allowing me to get them insanely low. Not low enough to knock them out yet, but they have 1 HP left, which does not matter at all. We can just go for one more fast move, and this is all it takes to win this game. So this is a super solid line, so definitely try this one out if you haven't already. Very, very cool one. Check those out here, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.